Hi, my name is Ashley Smith. I'm a rising senior here at UNCG in the BFA program, working with sculpture and ceramics. If you've taken a look at my art already, I want to thank you for that. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my work. So I call this piece the Ménagerie du Macabre, which means like a cabinet of curiosities a little bit, which is like a Victorian era type of home decor where they would take like memento mori, things of like from their dead relatives, oddities, taxidermy, and put these in these little cabinets, things that were curiosities of such, and that's where that word comes from. Is like it makes you're curious of what this comes from, and that's kind of where my art comes from, is the curiosity of the death, the curiosity of macabre, curiosity of disease, the fear of getting a disease, the fear of unknown. When people, especially in our society, look at death, they really have this very distant disconnection from what death and life is. In other cultures and in society before modern times, death was an everyday thing that we just always saw, and we don't get to see death anymore. When someone passes, they're usually at a hospital or a hospice. No one really passes at home very often anymore. And if they do, they're immediately picked up, taken away, and the embalming process or the process of cremation isn't really a ritual anymore. It is something done behind closed doors and its own artistic practice of itself. And I think that as a society that we should really kind of focus more on what death is, considering that it's something that it will come to everybody and to every living being on this planet. And I just think that in my art, I just kind of push that psychology, because we tend to not want to see things that we fear or things that are unknown. And so I want to make beautiful artworks that are also contain dead things, taxidermied animals, mummified animals, preserved flowers, preserved moss, insects, things that are not normally what people would consider normal, lovely decor. Not really something that you go into a museum and you see, unless it's like a science museum. And I want to change that with my art. I want to force people to see things differently, be it if it makes them uncomfortable or not. I mean, no one has to like what I make, but just knowing that, hey, this is something that is going to come to us all. And I just really enjoy pushing the beauty of death, because it's not something that we should fear, even though most of us do. It's just another part of our life, and I think we really need to combine and focus and just kind of interact more with death in our society than we do. Many cultures around the world have way different practices when it comes to death, and I think as an American society that we've just lost that connection. And I think that is what also feeds the fear of death. I mean, horror movies that we watch are all about, slashers or being murdered or hunted, but in other cultures, that's not what their horror is. So I think just pushing those boundaries is just something that I really like to do in my art. The textures on my ceramic pieces focus on what is called trypophobia, which is the fear of holes that many people have. And that comes from the fear of disease, not knowing if something is infectious, if something is contagious. Are you going to catch this? Are there bugs there? It's that unknown, like that deep hole, like what is in it, what's coming out of it, what lives there, what caused it. And I just really like to focus on the psychology of the human mind in my art. I used to want to be a psychology major, so I kind of pull what I have learned in the past into what I currently practice today. Thank you.